Well, welcome everybody. Dr. Keith here. Happy Wednesday, November 3rd. Hope you're doing well. Chris, how are you? All right, how's that? Is that a little bit better? Thanks. Thank you for that, Chris. Definitely want you to be able to hear me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Pat, good to see you. Chris, man, it's crazy how it's already November. Okay, well, we'll get started here then. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Well, when we talked a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that it was still looking like we were gonna head higher, right? And obviously we had, this is a SPY here off the daily chart. You see here, we're in a downtrend, and then beautiful Laguerre trigger back here. It was a little bit early, premature. But even then, if you put your stop below this wick, you were fine. But what I like to do is wait for that cloud to thin, right? And then entries can be anytime you get a flat bottom, green Hackenacci like that with the cloud thinning, that's a good entry. Or if you waited for it to turn green, look at all these flat bottoms, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of the last 16 candles. So let me blow that up to show you. So what I really want to focus on here again, and I think I talk about this every 2 weeks we talk. Don't be happy to take a profit here or here or here when you can take it. We don't know yet, right? We don't know where the end game is on this particular SPY. It may be tomorrow, it may be December 1st, but let's maximize our earnings, okay? Let's do it. And when you get these flat bottom candles, there is no reason to exit the trade. So I know we have FOMC today at 2. Okay, but remember, especially when you're swing trading, okay, one day doesn't make that trade. So yes, I'm still very bullish. Retailers are still shorting the market. And I get that question a lot. Why are they doing that? Right? Why are the inexperienced traders doing that? Well, what they like to do in the most part, folks, is what? They like to pick tops. Oh, it can't keep going higher here. It can't keep going higher here. Oh, this has got to be the top. Oh, right here's the top, right? Oh, yep. And at some point they're right. The problem is when they're right, they're already out of money, right? Our old trusty Laguerre continuing to stay up to the top. Hackenacci dots green. Clouds widening here, right? See the magic cloud widening. Okay, that's bullish activity, folks. Let's maximize our profits, okay? Same with the Qs, right? Look at that beautiful, beautiful move up. And reason I do these publicly, one of the things the main reason why I do this publicly is show people rules and how I'm doing my trading, but don't just take a profit to take a profit, okay? What I mean by that is, again, if all indications are we're going higher, don't say, well, I made enough. Because as you know, when you're wrong, the market doesn't give you money back. So this is how you grow accounts, okay? This is how you grow accounts. So the gamma, so if I want to look at the gamma, I just add it back on my chart, okay? I just have it turned off right now. And sometimes when I'm studying the charts, yeah, I will look at it. I just don't like it on here. It makes it distorted a little bit, okay? Good question. All right, so again, all the indexes I'm bullish. We talked a couple of weeks ago. High probability, I sure hope some of you took it. Right, BlackRock. Remember we talked about this, and what I said at the time was, remember I entered before the 25th. Okay, but I told you that if you entered on October 25th and you exit on December 29th, it's made money 21 out of 21 years, about 9% profit, right, on BlackRock. And this is what it's been doing during this time frame so far, right? But again, should not be surprising from the data mining. But then when you're in this trade, see how it's staying green? Don't exit this trade yet, folks. Don't exit here when you can exit somewhere up here, okay? You're giving yourself high probability trades when you're focusing on those type of opportunities, okay? We also talked about a short-term opportunity with Cisco, right? I'm already out of this. You know, 29 to 39 years, it's made a 5% profit in between these lines, right? So it's doing what it should be. Now I'm out of this, as I mentioned. I just put a limit order in on an option play. I made 35% in a couple of days, okay? But see this flat bottom, okay? I still like it. So if you're in it, you can decide to stay in it. But these are the high probability opportunities that I look for. Trading is hard enough, right? So you want to be able to give yourself some high odds in every trade you do. Look at the seasonality on Cisco as well, right? Beautiful seasonality, okay? So Cisco's heading higher. Probably head up to these highs here by the end of the year into January, okay? Okay. Let's look at Slv Metals, right? Silver. So as you know, I took this trade short, right? For a couple of reasons. We had a, you know, just a beautiful opportunity. See that not breaking above this line here. But then when we got the Laguerre short, the only thing I didn't have going for me was the cloud was still green, but it was thinning, right? And we got a flat top, okay? Flat top, right? This is when I entered at the flat top. And now my goal is this, right? I've taken partial profits, roughly 40%, but now my goal is to stay in as long as it stays red on the rest of my trade. Again, folks, that's how you build wealth, okay? By having a plan once you make money and maximizing your money, okay? You'll be able to make 80% of this entire move just by following these Hakanachis now, okay? We had a good trigger. Now the cloud's turning red, okay? It doesn't mean it'll go down every day, right? So if you didn't get in this trade, I'm not saying go in right now at the market, although you do have two flat bottoms that's bearish. But what I am saying is I don't think this moves over, right? Hakanachi's saying, oh yeah, come on down. And we usually don't bottom until December. So, you know, I'm hoping on my second part of my trade on this silver trade that, you know, I can make 100+% return on that, okay? I also shorted silver in the futures market as well, right? It's a little bit different trading in the future market, hit profit target here. If this can come down to, you know, the levels down here, most of you that know trading silver, that's a lot of money, folks, per contract. So, you know, that's how you do it, following rules. And again, I had a stop loss that was defined. I've already moved it down to break even now. But reason I'm showing you these opportunities is because you just need to follow rules. And as long as you have a plan that if it doesn't work out, you're out, okay, then you're going to be in good shape. Yeah, let's talk about Nvidia. Absolutely. So if I'm doing a leap, first of all, I'm not worried about earnings because leap by definition is a longer term play, okay? Now Nvidia has been obviously on a nice roll here. There's a couple ways you can play that though. If you want to be super conservative, right, you can take half of your position off it before earnings and then let the other half ride to the end of the leap, right? That's always a safe way, okay? Now in saying that, you know, I'd be holding on to it. I'd be holding on to it because if it gapped down, I was doing leaps. If it gapped down, a little bit more advanced strategy. Once we got a new trigger, I would add into that position, okay? But again, it's all about money management. So I don't know your account size. I don't know how much percentage you put in each trade. See, I don't put more than 5% in one trade ever, okay? So if I get into a trade, the most I can lose ever on one trade is 5% of my account, which is still large, okay? But I have that built in, okay? We talked about Amazon, right? Remember when we had, by the way, if you look at Amazon, every time you have earnings, it goes down, okay? So what that's given you is a great opportunity to go long, right? So when am I going to go long on Amazon? Well, the Laguerre starts trending up. We get a green Hockenacci. The cloud turns back to green. That may be a week from now. That may be a month from now. Whenever that happens, right, we've got seasonality on our side. I will absolutely pick up some more Amazon, right? Getting it here at 3,400 versus up here at 3,700 would be quite the discount. But I'm not just going to go in and go in yet. I don't have triggers, right? We need triggers. Google. Wow, I can't even type Google. I get so excited. All right, so by the way, remember we talked about this, I believe, because I have it written on my chart. If you entered on 10/13 and you exit on the 29th, it's made money 15 out of 16 years, okay? This was before this happened, so let's take a look. 10/13, right here, to 10/29, right here. See how it closed higher? So now that'll be 16 out of 17 years, okay? So what's my thought on Google? I'd wait for a pullback at this point. We're right at highs, but as you can see, we usually go higher till February. So any pullback in the markets, Pat, Google should be on your list to look to enter based on the rules, okay? AMD, again, as predicted, new highs. Okay, earnings, it came down a couple bars, gave you an opportunity before those new highs, okay? But again, clouds have been staying green. Hockenacci, when we got your red back to yellow, right? But see, flat bottom, flat bottom. Watch out, here goes AMD, okay? The dollar. We're getting close, folks, to a top, right? We talked about that before. We're getting close, another week or two. Okay, what I love to see is to hit another high and then turn over. Okay, I'm not going to go long on the dollar because I really start looking to short this, but not yet. Okay, so let it go up. If it goes up, it looks like it wants to head a little bit higher. And then if and when we get a trigger short and the cloud turns red, I'll look to short the dollar. Okay, then once we get into February, long dollar. Okay. Chris, so when I look at a stock, I don't remember what we were looking at. I just saw your question about going against the cloud. But let's look at something like, let's look at Facebook. So if you're looking to go long on Facebook, first of all, I would wait until around Christmas, okay? So I wouldn't be going long on Facebook right now. But let's say at this point you got a Laguerre trigger and you wanted to go long. What I do look for is if the cloud's still red, but it's thinning, it's getting really narrow, okay? If everything else is in alignment, yes, I will at times, okay? If I'm okay with the risk versus the reward, okay? If it's a strong move with a good seasonality, I'll do that. Only if it's thinning, okay? If it was widening, I would not go against the cloud. So let me be clear. If the cloud was widening to the red and I got a long trigger on everything else, it would be a no-go. Does that make sense? If the cloud's getting really thin, you know, because the cloud, based on the way I designed it, okay, it's more conservative. So, you know, a perfect trade is when you have everything in alignment. That doesn't always happen, right? But when it does, then those are my favorite opportunities, right? See how Tesla keeps you in this trade? Again, flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom, flat, and blah, 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 right? Let's see that widening, okay? So again, if you took this trigger, you had two triggers, right here, where that Laguerre triggered, and then right here, where it turned back to green. Okay, these were your two good triggers recently. if you're in these trades, do you see a red dot at all in here? So if you just set at 905, I made enough money, I'm happy. Thank you. Look at all that money you just gave out. Okay. You're going to get 80% of this move now just by following the rules. That's how you make money and build wealth. Okay. We don't know how big this move is going to be. This may just be the start, or in a couple of days, it may be over. But all we know is right now, look at all these flat bottom Hackenacci candles, right? The gear is higher than smoking weed. Okay. Look at that. Okay, let's talk about Vicks. So the Vicks is just continuing its normality. Okay, we may get a little bit of pickup right around Thanksgiving. Okay, but at this point, Vicks continues lower, flat top. So more than likely, you know, unless something really crazy happens with the FOMC at 2 o'clock, okay, people are just waiting, and then you'll probably get another move up in the markets. Okay, they're just kind of waiting to make sure nothing out of the ordinary there. Everything is about as normal as they can get right now, even though this country isn't too normal, right? Yeah, we can look at yeah. Let's take a look at like Macy's, which still amazes me that these companies are still in business. But Macy's hit a new high today, recent high. Okay, and you can see the seasonality. Russell, I'm just going to show you some of these. So it typically tops right around Thanksgiving, and then again in March. Okay, and the retailers for Macy's. Let's look at a couple of them. DDS hit new highs today as well. Okay, same thing, right? It kind of climbs up. So this, obviously this time of year, it looks like the retailers make their move. Okay, here's another one where the cloud recently changed on Kohl's. Flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom. Okay, when you get these flat bottoms, you're going to make money if you execute correctly. Okay, now a lot of these have earnings coming up. But yeah, it looks like Kohl's will probably hit that 60 mark here really quickly as well. And let's look at BG, FB. Same thing, same thing. So it already had its earnings, and the earnings was estimated at $1.05. The actual is $1.07. Okay, and so, but again, flat bottom, you know, Big Five is heading higher. Bonds. So typically we kind of do some seesaw, but more my bias is to the downside. So what I like about bonds right now is this. See all this support, or I should say resistance. I don't know, I always get those confused. Let me get rid of this for you. Okay. So I would love this the Laguerre here in the near future to give me a short, right? Test these lows again. We can make money right here with the stop right above this wick. Okay. Again, how would you do that from an option standpoint? One good option would be TLT, right? You can buy a put. Same rules. But again, I wouldn't fight this yet. In fact, today's a flat bottom on TLT, so I'm certainly not shorting yet. Okay. The cloud's turning green. So it may be a no-go at this point. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. So we have our trigger. Okay. Bitcoin is heading higher, folks. See the cloud holding steady, flat bottom, even though price is down today, right? This is what I love about Hackenacci. Hackenacci is still saying, relax, Dr. Keith. Relax. Don't get out, you know, don't worry about it. We're going higher here. Okay. How do I play that? I don't trade Bitcoin itself. I trade Mara is one of my favorites. You see Mara today. So flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom. Cloud is wide. Okay. Where was the trigger? Right back here in the combo. Cloud changed. But again, maybe you exited on this red dot, right? 2 red Hakanachis. So the next enter is back on the green. You get right back in. You had 3 or 4 days of heat. Now you're hitting highs. Okay. Look at the seasonality coming up on Mara for 5 years. Why, right? Yeah, Shiv. So Riot's been weaker. That's why I've been really focused on Mara. But there's more room to the upside on Riot probably then, right? So flat bottom, flat bottom. I like to see it break out a little bit though. I think once it gets going, it'll hit these highs up, you know, up to this at least 40 level. But I've been using Mara just because it's been trending better for us. Okay. So the ADX, basically the way I have it programmed here, it's just very simple. But if it's green or yellow, it's in a trending environment. Okay, it doesn't tell you which direction. It's right up on it. But as long as it's green or yellow, then I don't really worry about trending. It doesn't mean I won't. It doesn't mean even, for example, when the ADX is red that I won't take a trade. But what it cautions me is that you may get some consolidation, and I'm going to go in a smaller size because of that. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you how I have the. I think I have it so you can see it here. Let me just see. So if it's less than 15, it's programmed red. If it's between 15 and 23, it's yellow, and greater than 23 is green. But I'm okay with yellow or green, okay? The Magic Cloud's got a few different moving averages, definitely is part of the equation. Some Hakanachi, some artificial intelligence. It's just got some goodies that I've been working on over the years. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's see if we got everything covered from the major ones here. By the way, Broadcom, Avco, right? Again, within the yellow and the red, this thing's gone higher a ridiculous amount of times. It's a short-term move, but also a larger move, right? So again, the trigger was back here on Broadcom. If you took it, you were going against cloud. So when do you enter? Wait for that next flat bottom green Hakanachi, or wait for the cloud to turn green. Okay, there you have it. Broadcom is by far one of my 10 top stocks to trade throughout the year, giving me great enters. I do a lot of debit spreads with Broadcom. Okay. Yeah, so Tractor Supply, even though they have nothing in stock, the stock keeps going higher. See, I think we covered all that. Oh, I had a couple questions on Zoom. So Zoom, you know, I'm not touching this downtrend. I'm not looking to go long on Zoom at this point. There's no reason to. There's no seasonal data yet. Okay, I think it's risky. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and run a scan. It's one of the things I do every day. Okay, this is a scan on weekly stocks with weekly expirations on the cloud. Then I'm going to save it as a watch list, and I'm going to call it 11.3 cloud. Okay, because now I can go grab it on my watch list. Maybe. Let's see if I can find it. I always struggle with this for whatever reason. Where is that? 11. Which doesn't, oh, I know why. I got to go to 11. See, don't I? Let's see. Where is that sum again? All right, let me save it as a different name. I'll save it as key. That way, if I can't find that, I should just close the webinar out, right? Personal. There we are. Good. All right. So what this is, oh, it didn't work though, did it? Oh, because I didn't hit scan. I'm sorry, guys. Didn't I do this last time too? All right. Let me save it. Sorry to waste your time. All right. Now I'm going to grab it again. Keith one. All right. All right, so I'm just going to look at these. These are ones that the cloud changed either from red to green or green to red, okay? And so you can run these every day. You can look at the seasonal. You can say, hey, is AMGN an opportunity? Well, the clouds turns red now, okay? Activision, or I'm sorry, DD Global, not Activision. Or there, how did that happen? All right, so let's go through these. Cloud turned green, good seasonal. ALGN, the cloud turned green, probably have room up to those highs, right? Decent seasonal. This is how you can look for it based on cloud changes. AMGM, Activision Blizzard, they had earnings, so you'd leave it alone now, okay? BUR, cloud change to green, you have room up to those highs. Look at the 5-year seasonal. Clorox. Just seeing if there's something I like quite a bit right now. So I like this one, you know, Royal Caribbean, cloud turn green, flat bottoms. You know, Royal Caribbean will probably come up and at least test this 97 level. Okay, so nice little trade on Royal Caribbean. The other thing you can look at is when the cloud changed to green and you get flat tops or bottoms. So that's what this L stands for. So like Burlington, previous candle was a flat, you know, a flat bottom. That's so I can go through all of these and like Kodak. And I don't know who even uses Kodak anymore. Probably Bob. Are you there, Bob? You probably use Kodak still. All right. Don't tell him, Rick, if he's not listening. All right. So move, you know, nice seasonal on Micron, right? It's one of my favorites, but obviously it's been weak. So even with that data, I'm holding off on this. I'm not going against it until we get a higher low. Okay, until we get a higher low. But yeah, so I like to do the daily cloud scan to see what's changed from red to green or green to red. And then if it matches my seasonal and the Laguerre, even better. So here's something like it has a Laguerre trigger long. You have cloud change and a flat bottom. Okay. So there it is. Okay. What is the issue? We have earnings coming up though tomorrow. So you got to be careful on that. But you can kind of target in those type of opportunities and see, hey, is there any of these that I like? Here's one, Vertex. Laguerre earnings is over now. It's got a move coming. You know, some things that I'm looking for over the next couple months. You know, there's a lot, but if you have anything you want me to look at, type it in. We'll definitely take a look and see what you want here. Let me just see if I can find some goodies for you here. I'm looking at. You know, we've been talking in the past about MTD. Okay, I like this as a long again after earnings. So after earnings on MTD, and you get a new trigger, I would look to take that for sure to the long side. Let's take a look at IR. Nice ship, very nice. And I would definitely stay in this trade right now, no question about it. Flat bottom, the clouds widening, definitely. Yeah, so Spirit, Airlines I gotta be a little careful on, but I'm not going against it. The overall trend has been down, right? You see that from left to right. So even though we have seasonality, it hasn't been following its pattern that well. Let me show you what I mean. So the white dotted line is what normally happens, okay, on Spirit. And then once we get into September, October, it normally heads higher. Did it? No, it didn't this year. So it's not acting normal based on my criteria of normal, okay? So I'm not interested in trading that. Now, if price would have been going higher with what it should have, that's a different story, okay? So not interested at all. But I'd be careful on airlines anyway right now, okay? Yeah, let's take a look at BA. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I would play it. Let the cloud turn green, get a pullback here in the near future, high or low, then you have your long. Yep, that's a perfect way, Chris. Clove. I wouldn't touch clove. Consolidating, no seasonal. Wouldn't be touching it. A lot of news lately on old Lover, huh? So again, they're triggering, which you would think with seasonality, you know, flat bottom, flat bottom. I actually like Love better than the others based on this. If I was getting in on this, which again, I'm staying away right now in airlines, my stop would be right here, okay? I would take profits, partial right here, take the rest right around here, unless we continue to get flat bottoms, there's no reason to exit, okay? But if you got in right around here, it's good risk reward, okay? But again, not my favorite. I would like to see the cloud continue to channel narrow here, okay? Be careful with those though. Yeah, Caterpillar, love Caterpillar. Same thing here, just earnings is over now. So what I'm looking for is a retracement, cloud stay green, look for an entry here in the near future. Yep. Let's take a look at Marvel. Yeah, so Marvel needs a pullback. If you're in this trade, stay in it. But if not, you need to get some sort of pullback right from the highs there. Yeah, yeah. But definitely had a nice trigger here on 6 with means of 7. Got in, pulled back a little bit. There you go. So again, folks, you know, big picture, markets should continue higher. And when you get pullbacks, take advantage of waiting for triggers back to the direction of the overall trend, which is long, okay? You should be all making money right now while you're not doing something right. And I don't mean that disrespectfully at all, but it's pretty easy trading right now, okay? So, you know, follow what the SPY is doing. Bullish, bullish, bullish until it tells us otherwise. Okay, but I know many of you struggle with hanging on to some of your winners, and that's really how you're going to be more successful and build more wealth by staying into those runners. Okay. So what I'll do in a couple of weeks, when we have this again in a couple of weeks, I'm going to talk about a new strategy that fits into all of this, some things that I look for, but I'm not quite prepared for it yet. But it's super exciting. And you know, if you have any questions, reach out. Other than that, again, folks, have a great rest of the week and good next week. And we'll touch base here in 2 weeks. All right. Good luck, everybody. Take care now.